All right, friends, good morning and welcome to the second episode of Movers and Shakers. We are heading to Brahman's Cafe to experience some of the delicacies there. So Brahman's Cafe is, I think, a cafe which Mr. Rajat Mathur wanted to always explore. It was one of his bucket list, if I understand. So you want to tell a little bit about the Brahman's Cafe?
Yeah, there's a lot of, I've heard about it. A lot of celebrities have gone there and commented. So it's just something which I'm very curious about, very excited to go there. Let's see how it is. I'm sure the idlis, vadas will be crisp, and the chutney will be awesome. So really looking forward to, the place.
Yes, same here.
But more importantly, I'm looking forward to a discussion with our own Girish.
Oh. Fantastic. Yeah, yes, of course. So, yeah.
And we all know Girish very well as, a runner, marathoner, motivator, doer, so many things. But today, we will actually discover something very exciting about him. And that is, why does he write Girish Kumar VSM?
Yeah.
What is VSM there?
So hold on to that. Just don't spell the B. Okay. So welcome Girish. Welcome to the Movers and Shakers. Colonel Girish.
Good morning.
Good morning. We had a little bit of sharing of his particular experience, which we wanted to talk about. So, Girish, this was, I think you mentioned the setting was in 2004, 26 December. Tsunami created devastation across South Asia. 11 countries were impacted, and there was an emergency request from Sri Lanka for help and relief, and a contingent of 84 officers were sent to the coast of Sri Lanka to provide relief, and Colonel Girish was one of them. He led a contingent from an engineering point of view. So let me begin off, Colonel Girish, with one of the challenges you mentioned, which was one of the top challenges, if I understood right, which was building a bridge on the east coast of Sri Lanka. And you described that the challenge was high because it was a difficult terrain to kind of overcome, and countries like Germany, America, Australia were not very keen to take it up because of the complexity involved. And the Indian task force there, from the engineering corps, led the show. So Girish, from that point of view, if you can share with us, obviously the leadership skills would be at display when you take up a challenge. So as a leader there, maneuvering the challenge and making sure that the bridge was constructed, can you tell us what are some 2 or 3 key learnings and lessons you had in leadership in that particular section of the assignment?
So, some of the leadership lessons that I will bring out from this assignment were decision making, goal setting, persuasion of your goal, being open to ideas and information, and fifth would be adaptability, and the last would be modifications and innovations to set procedures of big designs.
Awesome. So let's pick up one of them so that we can learn a little bit more and get inspired. So when you speak about adaptability, innovation, could you share with us some examples of what did you do to innovate? What did you do to adapt?
So, firstly, the bridge site was a challenging one. We innovated in terms of the design of the bridge, firstly. Secondly, we dismantled an existing bridge which was not in use, or rather was in disuse state, and used that particular bridge parts to construct, to add to the bridge components we were getting. We were getting the main bridge components as a task of constructing 5 smaller bridges, where again we had to adapt and modify. We did a whole lot of cutting and redesigning and welding, etc., with whatever possible bridge components that had come. Although they were brand new bridge components, we modified them. We had a totally modified design where we calculated all our loads and constructed the bridge with a lot of caution. One more important modification was, and rather adaptability and being open to the suggestions, was listening or to views of all the subordinates, whoever came up with ideas, to the civilians who were also helping us out in terms of adding to our strength, in terms of manpower, and also a doctor who was deployed with us for medical care, who kind of always played our devil's advocate, challenged all our thought processes, and brought in new ideas after a lot of discussion.
Great. So Girish, this is amazing, fantastic. So you're saying a leader needs to have capability in terms of collaborating, listening to various stakeholders, whether they are from that domain or not from that domain, and then leveraging their presence to conclude the task. So that I think is a great lesson for all of us in whatever we are doing. Now, the second aspect was that given the fact that it was a tsunami kind of a scenario where the weather conditions were not good, you also mentioned about how important is goal setting when you pick up a project of such nature, where there is calamities around you, there are destruction around you, and you basically need to motivate your team and get things done. So tell us a little bit about this aspect of goal setting, and how did you manage that?
Okay, so once you see the challenges ahead of you, you look at what all resources you have and what is feasible, and what is even slightly beyond your reach, because finally we are all capable of extending beyond our abilities. And then look at what difference you can make, what the others can't deliver. That's what mattered here. We looked at all the challenges. We found there were certain activities which nobody was paying heed to. Not that it couldn't have been done, but there were no resources available. And we, with our domain of engineering, had those resources available and could have delivered on that very speedily. And that's what made the difference. For example, we restored the hospital in a sub-district within a day and a half to be precise. We restored it back for all their regular functions. So, very important is the goal setting and then identifying your resources which are available.
Okay.
That's very important.
So what you mentioned is that part of the goal setting is to have a look at the micro level planning, identify your strengths and capabilities, align all your resources accordingly, distribute them, and make sure that you achieve the end goal which you clearly articulated. All right, so now let's move on. When you have an exigency, when you have a very challenging situation like what it was, tsunami, How do you basically motivate and get your teams aligned to complete a job? I know that goal setting is the first step, but how do you motivate them? How do you get them to believe in that purpose and then achieve it?
Very good. So, firstly, here is where the quality of the leadership is concerned. You have to be an established leader for sailing smoothly in this particular kind of a situation. Which advantage I had, to be precise? It was my own regiment, the contingent was from my own regiment. However, there were some additional resources which were assigned under our command, which were from the telecommunication and signal regiment, the medical resources. So we had to show the purpose for which we were carrying out our activities. So a very important fact is, once you set the aim, show the purpose or the cause of the aim to everybody and the impact that it is going to deliver. So I think that is the major part of motivating a person. As I said earlier, at some point in time, and I kind of consider this as a very, very important lesson. You need you have in fact 1,000 reasons to decline a particular task. You need just one single good reason to actually undertake and deliver the.
Excellent. So what we're hearing from you is that a leader's job is to inspire people by showing a big picture, the end result, and getting them motivated to embark on that journey and complete it. So that's really amazing.
What he's also saying is that there's always a million excuses not to do something, and you really need to get the leadership really inspires you to then achieve notwithstanding all those excuses.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Rajat. So we have heard, we have seen pictures of and videos of cricket players when they win a World Cup or a tournament, when they come back to our country. There is a line of people standing on the roads to greet them, acknowledge them, and cheer them. And this is the first time we are hearing, me and Rajat, that when you guys were going back home after successful completion of your project, you had a straight line of the locals standing and waving and acknowledging and thanking all of you. So I think that's a great testimony for the fantastic job you guys have done. So I know that army men don't take that too much to their head or heart, but tell us, I mean, is there a lesson or something from that?
So I think we touched the hearts of the people with the efforts that we put in. We showed them that we were genuinely doing what we believed was for the best of everybody. And all our tasks were definitely oriented towards providing relief to the local people. In a larger perspective, you can say that it also helped India establish its presence in the region. And we know that was the emergence, that was the period in which India emerged as a superpower in the Southeast Asian region.
Awesome. Great. And as a result of that, we are very proud to hear and see, we have Colonel Girish, VSM, Rajat spoke about it, Visesht Seva Medal, awardee, which I think is given as a recognition to some extraordinary service during peace and especially during calamities such as this. So we are very proud, Girish.
Thank you.
To have you. As in Augusta, and having this kind of a decorated, recognition. That's really awesome.